Welcome back to lesson number 7 in Yang style Taiji Chuan. Here joining our small circle. I'm Mark Small, reminding you to step wide and long and low from this last series of movements. Fan through the back. In review last week's lesson and looking now at this week's lesson, we turn to white snake puts out tongue, pull back, press forward, and push. We repeat movements because they're elemental. We've got a lot of repeating. Pull back, press forward, and push into single whip. This time we step to 90 degrees left side. Before the new movement, wave hands through clouds. So we're going to move our hands spiraling in this beautiful series, turning the waist to step laterally to the side. 1 and 2 and 3 times. Wave hands through the clouds. Before we single whip, repeat movements, and white snake creeps down. These 3 moves, new moves, along with the repeats, but from last week's lesson, we were working from repulse monkey. I review with you into slanting flying and raise hands. 2, repeat movement, stork spreads its wings. Repeat left brush, knee and twist step. And needle at sea bottom, diving down the bottom of the sea. Then fan through the back. Good. Again, please. From repulse monkey into slanting flying, reviewing last week's lesson. And raise hands. Stork spreads its wings. And repeat, brush knee, twist step. Needle at sea bottom. And fan through the back. From this movement, shift back, straight back, and fold in the right arm. New movements today, fan through the back into turn, but first we shift back before we turn. So from forward again, straight back. Then, folding in the right arm, I turn my left toe in 0 degrees, fold in the left arm, describe an arc on the floor. For this, white snake puts out tongue. So I have 2 hands. First the right hand coming out, then the left hand. Now, which hand is the snake of the tongue, you might ask? White snake puts out tongue. Let's look at it again. Straight back, turn. Well, snakes have forked tongues, so first the right hand licks out and then the left hand. White snake puts out tongue. From fan through the back. Turning. White snake puts out tongue. I want to reach with a foot, reach with a hand. Bringing the right hand back, thigh level high, the left hand extending, shoulder level high. One more time. From fan through the back to white snake puts out tongue. Repeat movements. Pull back, press forward, and push. Into single whip, 90 degrees left side. And the new movement, wave hands through the clouds. You want to pendulum your left arm down, set out your right arm, and then let the left arm pendulum up, right arm pendulum down, left hand down, right hand up. Step together, then step out laterally to the side. 1, and step out again laterally to the side. 2, and step out a third time. Wave hands through the clouds. 3 movements to the left before you single whip again. And then there's one more move. Let's look at these waving hands. The most important part about today's lesson and for all the practice of Tai Chi Chuan, use the waist to initiate the motion. So when we're back on this side, we're going to travel in your living room to this side of the room. So we start over here and we turn our waist in order to counterbalance with our arms here for stepping lightly. Same, I turn my waist, then my hands are here so that I can step lightly. So remember, you're turning the waist very hard, using suspended elbows and rounding yourself to hold this ball, Tai Chi ball, on the lateral sagittal plane on either side. Now my hands, let's look at the hands first. The hands come from this single whip position. You pendulum down. This hand comes down and I close my dantian as this hand comes up. Then the right hand drops, left hand comes high. So I want both hands in front of me, and I want to turn my palms face up and face down respectively. So I'm facing forward with a standing palm, facing down and forward with a lower palm. Then they change. This is like putting a hand mirror down on the counter. I want to set my hand mirror down, pick up my other mirror, and look into it. I'm going to set this mirror down and pick up this mirror to look in, the waving of cloud hands. Or you can think about hula dancing. I want both my arms over here passing each other. That's when I step. My hands and my feet step on the sagittal plane. So if I sink my weight, I'm going to pass my hands past each other on the side and step. Then I'll pull across, turning my waist, laying down my hand mirror, picking up my other hand mirror, step together. Then, again, laying down my hand mirror, picking up, stepping. Same time as the hands pass each other here, I step. And turning the waist, step. And wave hands through the clouds. So it's a complicated movement in that it's 2 hands moving in opposite directions, counterintuitive, but just think about laying down this hand, picking up this hand, and watching the vertical palm pass in front of you. I want to keep my hands about a nose level high so I can see over the top of my fingers in turning. I want to remember the waist is the key, and when I step, I'm going to step laterally or push the side of the foot out. I'm going to step together, and I'm going to step laterally. So we're looking at the feet now. We pull in. As I pull, I'm going to get as much purchase as I can, pulling in these toes. Then I'll step and use the ankles and toes, stepping laterally. Get as much as you can, then step together. Wave hands through clouds. Let's go back to this side of the living room and try it again. We're going to think about how we move from this movement, fan through the back. Into preceding movements, turn, white snake puts out tongue. 45 degrees behind ourselves, bow stance in order to pull back, press forward. And push. Shifting the weight back. Before turning, toes come in. Now, single whip, 90 degrees, left side. To wave hands through the clouds, pendulum the left arm, then the right arm. My feet don't move until I hula arms, then I step together. 1. Oh, we count here on the side. 1, as we step out with the left foot. Step together. 2. Step together. 3. And step together. Now a narrow single whip. Round yourself, step out and open, single whip. Good, let's do that much again. Remember, when you're moving, think about the waist turning. My waist turning is what allows me to move. So again, from fan through the back, last week's lesson, into the new movements, white snake puts out tongues. Pull back, press forward, and push into single whip, 90 degrees, left side. Wave hands through the clouds. Look at the right hand. My feet don't step yet. I shift back and hula my arms. Then I can step together. I begin counting 1, 2, 3. Step into single whip. The last movement, white snake creeps down. Turn out your back foot. Open the gua. Open the gates here in the hip. The Chinese call this the gua. Open that so that I can bring my hand back and down, comfortably down to this semi-crouch before coming forward into this full front inner thigh. This is called white snake creeps down. I want you to think about waxing that tough part of the car down here. So my left hand is moving in this circular manner. And I'm going to sink my weight back and down before it goes forward. Now there's 2 ways to do this. Comfortably, don't have to go low. Open the foot first. Then shift and just semi-crouch, waxing your car before you turn your back toe in and come into this forward position where white snake creeps down. The second way is for demonstration purposes. I'm going to push out my front foot and get a little lower if I feel comfortable doing that. So from this single whip, toe goes out, push the front foot forward, and coming down, I can wax way down in the car before I come forward. So we're going to lunge pretty deeply if you care to, but for demonstration push purposes, never push out the back foot, only push out the front foot for this extension downward. Let's do what's comfortable. Turning out the back toe, white snake creeps down. Square your hips and torso at 90. Let's try again this whole series of movements from this side of the living room to this side of the living room or wherever you may be working. I know it's easier than negotiating my wires here in the studio. Let's go from fan through the back, turn, white snake puts out tongue, 45 degrees behind ourselves, right side, roll back, press forward, and push into single whip. And wave hands through the clouds, pulling in the right toe. Step out laterally to the side. 1, 2, 3, and then single whip in order to white snake creeps down, squaring on 90 degrees. Good. Review again, please, from this fan through the back, these large movements to your left. Fan through the back, shift straight back and then turn. White snake puts out tongue. Pull back. Repeat movements, press forward. And push. Into single whip. 90 degrees left side. And the new movement, wave hands through the clouds. Step together, then traveling 1, 2, the waist, 2, counterweight arms out to the side, and 3 times. Into single whip, 90 degrees, left side. White snake creeps down. Open the back and wax the car. Squaring at 90 degrees. Excellent. I want to thank you for remembering to align your knees over your toes, to feel the bowing of the arm and the spiraling that leads you in wave hands through clouds. Front bows, downward bows, upward bows, naturally, and turn the waist in order to move. This concludes our lesson number 7. We look forward to seeing you next time, joining Small Circle. I salute your practice. Keep practicing.